just to clarify, with the T, total depravity, one of the key things we saw there is the difference between before the fall and after the fall. Right?
Yeah, and actually, so this
the fall we're using a like a two. There's a two-phase to the game here. There's the pre-fall Adam and Eve, which we would say are not. There was no total depravity then. The depravity is a consequence that is irreversible. The irreversible consequence of the fall.
So now I'm going to go off script here a little bit because now this is something that I've just thought of in my own mind today. When we talk about the fall of Adam and Eve, okay, now it could be said that Adam and Eve were the only ones who actually had free will, and that's a Reformed position, okay? That Adam and Eve were the only ones who actually had true free will. It was unencumbered by anything. They had the ability to choose sin or not sin. So there was no sinful nature. However, God sent, well, I shouldn't say he sent, but there was the snake, right? The serpent came and lured their will. So I guess that isn't really will, right? But wouldn't that make it wouldn't that encumber choice? I guess not, eh? Because they still had the free will to say no to it.
Well, it definitely influences it. I mean, it gives them the idea to,
Yeah, it does. But I guess the question is, I guess when we talk about free will, it's unencumbered will. And I guess the point of T, or total depravity, is that man is encumbered by the sin nature, right? That's what we talk about when we talk about.
So Adam and Eve were not they were not encumbered by a sinful nature in the same way, in any way, the same way we are.
Right.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, Mike, bring your mic just a little bit closer. You're a little bit far away. Okay, so I want to read this. This is from...
They were in fellowship with the Creator, right? There was no... it says that they were, at the very end of... It says they were arumim, which could mean that they were... It could mean they were naked. It could mean that they had some sort of wisdom, and they were lo yit bosheshu. They were not ashamed. They were in the presence of... They had access to the Holy Creator. So there must not have been, there was no sin. But in our situation, there's no one born now that post-fall that has unencumbered access to the Creator. We just don't, there's a sin in between.
And I think we see that. I was talking to Caleb about this yesterday. I think we see that in our children. For those of us who have children, I mean, I never had to teach my kids how to do anything wrong. I never taught them how to lie or to cheat. It just happens. I remember my 1-year-old daughter, my first daughter, there was a little piece of bread or something on the floor, and she was crawling. She was crawling over towards it, and I said, "No, stop." And she stopped, and she looked at me, and then, and then, she knew I was across the room, and so she slowly walks over to it, and I kept saying, "Stop! Don't! You better not!" And she reached over and grabbed it, and put it in her mouth, and I thought, "Look at that!" I mean, I didn't have to teach her how to do anything wrong. I didn't teach her that. She learned it on her own. We've got to teach them how to do good. So it's in us. When we're born, it's obvious, and we can see it. For those of us that have children, we can see it.
No doubt.